We have new information on free agent Alex Bregman and where exactly he should land this offseason, including quotes from Jon Heyman discussing how the Boston Red Sox may be the best available option left for Bregman. I'm here to break down that quote as well as others on this episode of Red Sox Digest, so let's get to it. But before we get to that, remember, if you're a part of the 86.5% currently watching this video, not currently subscribed, and you want to stay up to date on everything Red Sox, scroll down, click the subscribe button. We do appreciate all the love and support, so thank you guys. But now let's get to it and break down the Bregman updates. Now, we've broken down this Alex Bregman situation many times in the past, in the recency past, for Alex Bregman. And the reason being is because we have yet to make a massive splash in free agency. Yes, we went out and acquired Walker Buehler. Yes, we went out and acquired Garrett Crochet via a massive trade, giving up a lot of prospects to the Chicago White Sox. And again, we've added other pieces here and there, but we have not made that big, significant splash for a right-handed bat to really balance out this lineup for the Red Sox. Now, Alex Bregman has been a name we've been involved with for some time now during this offseason, and it seems like we are still, as the Boston Red Sox, the best available option left for Alex Bregman. Now, Alex Bregman has had a doozy of an offseason up to this point. If you don't know how it's gone up to this point, obviously he played for the Houston Astros last season for really all the way up to his career in out of LSU, and now he's testing the free agency market. Obviously, the Houston Astros look a bit different this offseason, especially going into next season, than they have in the past. Obviously, Kyle Tucker is now a Cub. There was a massive trade via that. And now it seems like Alex Bregman is on the way out, despite being offered a 6-year, $156 million deal by the Astros that he which declined because, again, he was looking for $200+ million and a bit longer of a contract. Now, the Astros have been on the record saying they will not offer him more than what they obviously offered. They don't want to eclipse that 200 mark. And now we have conversations between the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, and even the Detroit Tigers. And really, who is the best option for Bregman and what are the odds-on favorites to land Bregman? And right now, it seems like Jon Heyman suggests that the Red Sox are the best fit for Alex Bregman. That is a quote from Jon Heyman on MLB Network on the MLB Hot Stove segment. And again, this is big because he goes on to rattle off the Detroit Tigers options. He goes on to discuss the Blue Jays and obviously the Astros. And he really just said it's the teams that are involved with him now are the teams that have been involved with him for some time. And what do I mean by that? Well, the Astros, obviously, he's played his career up to this point with the Houston Astros. That, yes, they know Alex Bregman pretty damn well. They are going to be involved with this transaction. They're going to be involved in an attempt to get Alex Bregman to return to the Houston Astros. Other teams, the Detroit Tigers. A.J. Hinch obviously has a connection with Alex Bregman, obviously connecting the Tigers to Bregman this offseason. But again, Heyman goes on to elaborate about the Tigers, saying that they don't have anybody worth 18+ million on that roster. Are they going to go out and pay someone in Alex Bregman who is single-handedly going to eclipse really the total team, the total rosters, contract salary in total with just one player in Alex Bregman? That would be something to take into account. Again, it would be reconnecting Alex Bregman and A.J. Hinch. That would be good for Bregman and Hinch. Obviously, it would make the Detroit Tigers a lot better without a doubt, who were a playoff team last year. But again, we are not sure, and really no one can really sell me on the idea that the Tigers are going to go out there and pay someone in Alex Bregman or really anyone an exorbitant amount of money when their roster and their current cap looks the way it does, or their salary, I should say, looks the way it does amongst their entirety of their team. Now, Heyman goes on to mention, obviously, the Red Sox as well as the Blue Jays. And I will say, I believe the Blue Jays might be the scariest team for the Red Sox in this situation. And the reason being, and the reason I say that is because they just went out and got Anthony Santander. Now, obviously, the Red Sox, based off of reports, were also in the mix for Anthony Santander, the switch-hitting outfielder who could have played left field for this Red Sox team. Obviously, we have a surplus of talent in the outfield and capabilities of putting talent in the outfield, including members of that aren't even on the 40-man roster as of yet in Christian Campbell, who we're assuming might be pulled up and called up and on this starting roster and on the 40-man roster before opening day, who could play left field, who could play short, who could play second. It's going to be very interesting to see what the Red Sox decide to do with the young prospect, who does have a whole lot of upside, especially coming down to whether or not we get Bregman. Again, a lot of moving parts. But the idea is that the Blue Jays did go out and get Anthony Santander, which makes me believe they are very, very much so trying to buy this offseason. Now, is that going to be the case? Are they going to continue to do this and go out and try to be willing and pay people and these very, very good players like Alex Bregman to come into their organization? There's also Pete Alonso available. There's a lot of big names still available that the Blue Jays could make a big splash with. It just comes down to whether or not they go out and try to make a substantial move, taking talent away from another AL East competitor in the Red Sox, and try to acquire Alex Bregman. That is honestly the biggest worry for me currently, in the idea of possibly missing out on Alex Bregman, because we've seen the reports about the Red Sox playing a game with chicken with the agent of Alex Bregman, as well as just Bregman himself, in the sense that we know what he wants. We know he wants that $200+ million contract, and a lot of teams aren't willing to give it to him. Obviously, another team that was mentioned was the Cubs. The Cubs also are looking to acquire Alex Bregman if he is focusing on a shorter term deal. They do not want to go out and offer him 6+ years for $200+ million to acquire someone in Alex Bregman. If they can go out and get him on a shorter deal, it seems like the Cubs are amongst a lot of other teams, whether it be the Red Sox. Again, we are unaware of really what they are offering Alex Bregman as of current day. And again, it is January 23rd. Things could pick up any day now if Alex Bregman decided that he wanted to get to a team and decide to call somewhere home and take the best available option and really just overall offer. Again, things could pick up in the week. Again, we don't know how it's going to play out. Alex Bregman seems like he's very hell-bent on getting that money. I will cite this real quick article from Evan Petzold, in where he goes on to say Alex Bregman negotiations at standstill as spring training nears. The latest, where it goes on to say the gap is in perceived value between the Tigers and Bregman still exists. For example, the Tigers refuse to pay $200 million, and Bregman refuses to accept a short-term deal. Talks between the two sides have reached a standstill, even though there's mutual interest. So again, another form of example on Alex Bregman and really the situation he's going through in trying to find a home. Obviously, he was hell-bent on getting paid. He got a huge offer from the Astros in the opening of free agency. He declined it because he thought he was going to be able to go out there and demand some more value, whether it be from the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, the Cubs, whoever it may have been. He thought his market was going to be a bit deeper in the deep, more rich, if you will, in the sense of how many years and how much money teams were going to be offering the multiple-time All-Star and Alex Bregman. But again, I will say, to go back to this quote from Jon Heyman at the very beginning of this quote, when initially asked about the Alex Bregman market, he describes it as fluid, saying he believes there are 5 teams involved in this whole situation in Alex Bregman. And he does not confirm he knows for an absolute fact what those teams are or who those teams are, but he does go on out there and he does throw out the names that we've already discussed in this video, in the Red Sox, the Tigers, the Blue Jays, the Cubs, and possibly even the Astros, going on to tie them all together, saying that if they are connected to Bregman in one way or another, he does have a strong feeling that they would be the teams involved. Again, AJ Hinch for the Tigers, Cora for the Red Sox, obviously the Astros being a part of Bregman's career all the way up until this point. Kyle Tucker now being on the Cubs, I would assume, significantly helps the Cubs and their abilities to go out there and attempt to acquire someone in Alex Bregman. And then obviously the Blue Jays just being a very, very hungry team, looking to make more splashes after missing out on many players. After getting Anthony Santander, they may enjoy the feeling of that signing a big name player and try to go out and make another big splash and steal away someone like Alex Bregman or possibly even Pete Alonso. I know the way their roster is currently constructed, Pete Alonso would not work in Toronto, but at least with Vladdy playing first. Again, DH is available. It should be interesting to see how things really play out. That'll be it. I'll see you guys on the next one with hopefully new Alex Bregman updates and him joining the Red Sox.